Hey guys, Shaka Games here, and today we are going to do a Gravity Falls tier list. So, ranking all of, yeah, but you know what a tier list is. So, there's going to be D, C, B, A, and S tier. Um, I don't think I've said this publicly before, but this is my favorite show. Not even just cartoon, like, favorite show in general. So my opinions will probably be kind of biased because I like this show a lot. But yeah, let's just start the tier list with season 1, episode 1, which is Tourist Trapped. So what do I think about this episode? So this has to go in at least A, because it's what got me hooked on this show. It introduces all of the characters, Dipper, Mabel, Stan, the journals, all that kind of stuff. So I think that this goes. Does this go in A? Yeah, I think this. No, you know what? This is S. I think I'm gonna put it in S solely because it's just like it's a very good first episode. Like it's a very good introduction to this show. So, yeah, I think it goes in S. Um, episode 2, Legend of the Gobblewonker. This episode is like, I don't know, this episode is, I think this goes B. I think this goes on B because it's not like, it does a very good job at world building. I'll say that, I'll give it that. But its plot is like, I don't know. It didn't hit for me. Like, I don't know. I think it had some really funny jokes, but the overall plot didn't round up to something that I thought like it wasn't very memorable in my opinion. So I think it sits comfortably in B. Headhunters. This okay. I'll be completely honest with you. I forgot the entire existence of this episode. But now that I remember it, it's actually quite a good episode. Like episode 2, like the Gobblewonker, it does very good job at world building. The plot and jokes both are good as well. They're both like really good. So I think this goes top of B. Yeah, top of B, I think. The hand that rocks the Mabel. This is. I don't really. I'm not that fond of this episode. It's like. I don't know. It introduces Gideon, who's like one of the main antagonists of the show. But he's not. I don't really like. Well, I guess it kind of succeeds because I don't think you're supposed to like him until, Weird Mageddon, like the finale, when he redeems himself. So I think this goes in A. I think it goes in A. You know what? I think Tourist Trapped actually goes top of A because I'm just looking at it here and there's definitely some episodes that I would put like above Tourist Trapped. The inconveniencing. I don't know if this is C or D. I think it's C. I think it's C because while it's not like a horrible episode, it's just very, I don't know, I just didn't really like it. I thought that the the big like reveal of this episode wasn't very like, I think it was more comedic than anything like the Gobblewonker, but I think the Gobblewonker actually had better jokes, which is why this is underneath the Gobblewonker. I said Gobblewonker so much in that one sentence. Dipper versus manliness. This episode is actually really funny. You know what? I think we might have our first S tier because this is a very funny episode. This is the one with like the Manitors, right? Okay, I think that's S. I think that's S. I might bump it down later in the line, but I think that's S. No, you know what? That's middle of A. I need to be more decisive here. I rarely do tier lists. I think middle of A for Dipper versus Manliness. It's not better than Tourist Trapped, but it's better than The Hand That Rocks the Mabel. So, yeah. Double Dipper. I really, really like this episode. It's very funny. It's very funny, yeah. S, I think. Yeah, S, S. Uh, the only thing that I didn't like about this episode is like its ending. I don't know. I actually no. I think this is S tier. Like yeah, obviously it is, but like I'm not sure. It's a tricky one to rank. It's a very tricky one to rank. Irrational Treasure. Is this the one where there's like the 7.5th president or something? And there's like the negative $10 bill. Oh yeah. I think I think bottom of B for this one because it develops Mabel out a lot more. It introduces Pacifica, right? Yeah. Who comes into play like in season 2 in this episode. Yeah. The Time Traveler's Pig. What's this one? This is where Waddles gets introduced, right? And oh, this is the one where like Dipper tries to win the carnival game, but like hits Wendy in the face, and then Mabel doesn't. Mabel gets Waddles, but like, ooh, I think I have a very biased opinion. Top of C. That is very biased. I understand that. I know a lot of people would put this way, way up, even an S. But I don't know. I didn't like this episode. Fight Fighters. Um, this is another one that I like completely forgot the plot of. Um, I think that no crap. I didn't mean to put it there. I think that Fight Fighters. You know what? Yeah, I think it is actually B. No, you know what? It's top of B. It's top of B, I think. Like, yeah, it's better than a rush. No, you know what? I think it's. God, yeah, I need to be more decisive here. I think, yeah, it's better than Irrational Treasure, but it's not better than Legend of the Gobblewonker. Little Dipper. I. Crap. Why does it. I think that this goes. Like. Is it better than The Hand That Rocks the Mabel? Yes. Is it better than Dipper versus Manliness? Yes. But is it better than Tourist Trapped? No, I don't think so. So I think it's second in A, I think. Summerween. Now, in my opinion, this is like nearly the best episode in the show. I think it's by far the scariest episode This is the one that actually made me like creeped out. I mean, even if you just look at that shot there, even if you just, oh my god, you know what I'm gonna do? Here we go, and then. There were whatever. You'll just have to deal with the ads. But like, yeah, even if you look at that shot there of the Summerween trickster or whatever his name is, that's like quite unsettling by itself. And I I think they kind of ruined this episode in the end because like if I search up Summerween tricks, like he starts out as this, which like he starts out like as this, which is genuinely scary, in my opinion. But by the end of the episode, he's this. Like it's such a contrast. Yeah, like that's one of the shots in the episode, right? They turn him into this. That is just I don't know. I like even the plot of this episode kind of gets ruined. Like it's like oh if they don't bring him like all of the trick-or-treating sweets, he'll literally eat them, which is quite violent for a children's show. But then by the end he's just like, oh, I made out of all of the discarded Halloween like treats. It just I don't know. But it's still a fantastic episode. It's still definitely an S. But is it above? Yeah, it's above Double Dipper. I spent really long ranking that. Boss Mabel. I think this is our first D. It's another one like what's it? It's another one like the inconveniencing, where it tries so hard to be funny that it's not really funny. Bottomless Pit. This is really hard to rank because it's kind of like 4 episodes in one. It's like it's all of their different stories before they fell in the bottomless pit. You know what? I think this is bottom of A, I think. Bottom of A or like top of top of B. Cause it's not better than the hand that rocks the Mabel, I don't think. The deep end. This generally gets a quite high consensus in the fan base, in the like fandom. But I think this is in between Dipper versus Manliness and Little Dipper because it has some great jokes. Some quite inappropriate jokes, I'll be honest, for the kids show. But like I don't know. There's so many like out of context lines in this that I think that just kind of saves the episode in a way. So I think this is I think that's a good ranking. Carpet DM. Why does it keep doing? I think this is actually bottom of S because this actually has that like really funny joke where it's like this is the one where they body swap, if I'm not mistaken. I remember that one where like that part where like Mabel like swaps with Dipper, and then Grunkle Stan just talks to her about like puberty and stuff, and then at the end of the episode it cuts back to that, and then the Mabel Dipper is just there like, oh god. So I think that's actually that kind of carries that this episode for me. So I think that's bottom of S. Boys Crazy. Is it top of D or bottom of C? I think it's bottom of C because it's better than Boss Mabel. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have much to say about this one. Land Before Swine. This is an instant. I was gonna say instant S tier, but I think it's actually A. Is it better than The Hand That Works the Mabel? Yes. Is it better than Dipper versus Manliness? Yes. Is it better than The Deep End? Yes. Is it better than Little Dipper? Yes. But it's not better than Tourist Trapped, in my opinion. So I think it goes in A. Dreamscapers. Okay, do you even have to question this? Like, do you even have to question that? Like, it's where everyone's favorite triangle is introduced. Bill Cipher. He is the best triangle ever conceived by man. He's basically the reason that the show got popular. Like, yeah, I think that this actually has quite a good plot, and it actually has really good humor as well, which obviously knocks it up from Summerween, Double Dipper, and Carpe Diem. And yeah, Gideon Rises. Where does Gideon Rises go? Because, like, it's not the worst episode in the world. So it's not D or C. But I don't think it can go above an A. So I think that this goes above Fight Fighters, but below The Legend of Gobblewonker, I think. I think that's a good placement for Gideon Rises. Scarioki. So, oh my god, this is actually one of the best episodes. These two, Into the Bunker and Scarioki, are like the two, like, not best episodes, but they're nearly the best episodes in the show, in my opinion. Scarioki is the zombie one, right? That's the one where they like throw the party. Yeah, it's the one where like Dipper shows like the government agents the journal, but they're like, oh no, that's fake. So he uses like the zombie spell, and then they immediately get infected, and then they're hosting like a big party, because the Mystery Shack is back. After Gideon, nearly destroyed it in Gideon Rises, and then like, yeah, there's all the zombies and stuff, and Zeus gets bitten. Like, it's a really good episode, in my opinion. It's a really good episode. Same with Into the Bunker. I think Into the Bunker goes above Double Dipper, above Summerween, but not above Scarioki. So I think Into the Bunker is like one of the scariest episodes. Like, if I just search it up, Into the Bunker, Gravity Falls. Like, hold on, let me. Yeah, like, that's pretty creepy. You gotta admit. Like, and when he turns into, like, also that, like, and also, like, Dipper. Like, hold on. Where's that scene? But there's a really creepy scene in Into the Bunker where also that, like, that's also very pretty scary. Yeah, that's like honestly pretty well, that's not the what it looks like officially, but like, but it's a very pretty creepy episode. So I think it's scarier than Summerween, and it's just better than Summerween in my opinion. But it's not as good as Scarioki in my opinion. The Gulf War. where does the Gulf War go? Because this has really good jokes, but it kind of has a meh kind of plot. Again, like like the Deep End, it has pretty like mature jokes for a children's show. I think this goes below Headhunters. I think Sock Opera. This is my single favorite episode of the entire show. For the entire ranking, this will remain top of S tier. There is no changing that. This is my favorite episode of the entire show. Yeah, like Sock Opera Dipper. Like he gets possessed by Bill and nearly crushes a piano on Mabel, which is crazy. We also get this scene where Bill becomes the freaking moon, and like that's such peak cinematography, in my opinion. Like, also, yeah, that's also pretty creepy, in my opinion. So I think this is my absolute favorite episode of the entire show. There is nothing you can do to change that. So next, Susan the Real. What happens in this one? I kind of forgot what happens in this one. Like, from what I can remember, this is the one that like rips off FNAF for the final half of it. This is also like a really creepy episode from what I can remember. The first like 5 or 6 episodes of so of season 2 are like really creepy. I think this goes above Boys Crazy, above The Inconveniencing, above The Time Traveler's Pig, above Irrational Treasure, above Fight Fighters, but it's not better than Gideon Rises, in my opinion. I don't think it's better than Gideon Rises. Little Gift Shop of Horrors. Above Boss Mabel, top of D tier. It was another one of those like bottomless pit where it's like kind of 4 episodes combined into one, and it feels very rushed. I'll admit that. Society of the Blind Eye. This is the one. I think this isn't the scariest episode of the show, but I think it's just the darkest episode of the show. This definitely goes in S tier. Goes Buff Double Dipper. I think it sits comfortably there. Because we find out like why McGucket has gone so crazy. He's literally wiped his memory countless times until he literally cannot remember anything and is just this crazy old guy that like I don't know. It's a really dark episode. Blendin's Game. We get introduced to Time Baby in this one, which inevitably dies in Weirdmageddon. But I think that Blendin's Game goes in B, I think. It goes in B. B is like the most like expanded tier apart from S. There will be a lot of S's because this show is just so good. Like, D doesn't necessarily mean that it's a bad episode. It just means that I didn't really like it. All of them are good episodes, like, but back to Blendin's Game. I think that this goes above Legend of the Gobblewonker and above the Gulf War. And above Headhunters. I think it's there. The Love God. This is bottom of C, I think. These two, I just didn't like the humor of. I This actually had a very good joke though, where Grunkle Stan makes the thing, and it's like, I heart kids, but like the H and like he makes the sign that's like, I heart kids, but then the H and the or fall off, so it's like, I eat kids. I think that's a very good joke. Northwest Mystery Mansion, or Northwest Mansion Mystery, I don't know. This is tricky to rank because Pacifica like kind of redeems herself in this episode. And this is another one of like the scariest episodes. I think this is one of the only episodes in children's television that has the audacity to actually show blood or show a character dying on screen, because it does both of those things. Above The Hand That Rocks the Mabel, above Dipper vs. Manliness, I don't think it's better than The Deep End though. So I think it's there. Not What He Seems. Is it better than Dreamscapers though? Yeah, it's better than Dreamscapers in my opinion. This is like the big release of the show. This is like the big plot twist where obviously there's going to be when I'm editing this, I will obviously put a spoiler warning at the start, but this is where it gets revealed that Stan has a twin brother, which is Ford, and he got like sucked into the portal and stuff, which is kind of followed up on in A Tale of Two Stans, where you find out what truly happened. But unlike Not What He Seems, I don't really like A Tale of Two Stans. It's the second longest episode in the show, and it kind of drags on, saying the same things over and over and expecting you to have like sympathy for Stan. So I think solely for that it goes... Crap, I'm dragging the Time Traveler's Pig. Oh my god. Now I forget where the Time Traveler's Pig was. Whatever. But A Tale of Two Stans, I think, is it's better than Tourist Trapped, by far better than... Not by far, it's not by like a landslide, but like, it's definitely better than Tourist Trapped, but it's not better than Carpe Diem, I think. Dungeons, and more dungeons. This is like the Dungeons and Dragons parody episode. I mean, I think it's a good concept, but I don't like the villain of this episode. The villain of this episode is just really unfunny. He just comes off more cringe than funny, in my opinion. So I think that this goes above I think it goes above Irrational Treasure, but not better than Fight Fighters, I don't think. So I think it's B. It's like second worst in B, in my opinion. You know what? I'm actually gonna I'm actually gonna put like Irrational Treasure up to like here, because now I'm remembering more bits of that, and it's actually a lot better of an episode than I originally remembered. The Stan Shurian Candidate. This is the one where like Stan Lee, not Stanford, because Not What He Seems has happened a couple episodes ago. But I think that Stan Lee is a very good character in this episode. I like the part where like he saves the twins from like falling off the cliff. I forget what Dipper says, but he says something, and then Stanley's just like, I can still drop you off this, which is quite evil, but it's still a really funny joke. So I think it's about middle of A tier, I think. I think this is what I would call like an average episode, I'd say. These are kind of mid. These are like, I didn't really like these, and these are like, I didn't enjoy these, you know. And then these are like very good episodes. The last Mabel Corn. This is by far one of the hardest, one of the trickiest to rank. Because I don't really remember one of these. Oh, this is the one where they go to like the unicorn and just beat the crap out of the unicorn, right? And then so they can block the shack from Bill Cipher, who is like Bill Cipher, you know? You know who Bill Cipher is. Last Mabel Corn is definitely top of C, at least. Better than Dungeons, and More Dungeons. Better than Fight Fighters. Better than Susan the Real Girl. Better than Gideon Rises, I think. Is it better than Irrational Treasure, though? No, I don't think it's better than Irrational Treasure. I think it sits comfortably there. Roadside Attraction is middle of D, in my opinion. I don't really like this episode. I think I've been quite critical actually in these rankings. So apologies to like Alex Hirsch and the Disney team. But I think I don't know, I didn't like this episode. Dipper and Mabel versus the future. There, I think. This is the first episode in the show, certainly not the last, that genuinely nearly made me cry. I genuinely teared up during this episode because Mabel's like, oh, high school is going to be so good. And then she goes and then everyone's telling her it's going to be like the worst experience of her life. And then on top of that, Dipper says that he's not going home with Mabel because he's going to stay with Ford, so Mabel ends up being really depressed for like this and this. These next two episodes, she's like really depressed, which is just so heartbreaking because she's like the most innocent character in this entire show. So Dipper and Mabel versus the future goes below sock opera. Everything in S will go below sock opera, by the way. Weirdmageddon Part 1 is below Dreamscapers, I think, which is a very controversial opinion, I know. But I wasn't too fond. Like, 1 and 2 are ultimately not great when you compare them to Weirdmageddon 3, which is such a good episode. And Weirdmageddon 2, this is also one of the scariest in the show. There's that scene where everything turns into, like, cockroaches and, like, worms and spiders and stuff. Ugh, that's absolutely disgusting. But I think that it can't go above top of A, I think. It can't go above top of A. Weirdmageddon 3 is there. I am very comfortable with that ranking, actually. Because these two episodes both made me nearly cry. These two episodes both made me, like, sob, like, tear up. So, I think that automatically puts it in S tier for, being a children's cartoon that makes me cry. But I think, yeah, that's a good placement. And there we have it, folks. This is my Gravity Falls episode, like definitive Gravity Falls ranking. I'll see you in the next video, and peace.